9.5 notes for greatest common factor. Alright, finding the GCF of a polynomial. Okay, the first thing you want to do is look at the coefficients first. That's the first thing you want to do. And the second thing you want to do is a variable must be common to all terms to be a GCF. So, common. Okay, next thing is you want to know is if a variable is a common to all terms, take out the smallest exponent. Okay, and the next thing is you're going to divide all terms by the GCF to get the remainder in parentheses. So, divide. Okay, and it'll make more sense as we get along to our notes. Starting with number 1, it says factor the following expressions by finding the greatest common factor. Okay, so again, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at your coefficients. In this case, my coefficients are 3 and 12. So I want to think about 3 and 12. What numbers go into 3 and 12? That's 1 and 3. What numbers go into 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. What's the greatest common factor? It's 3. So I can factor out a 3. So 3. So this is 3x divided by 3 gives me just x. 12 divided by 3 gives me plus 4. So again, what I factor out was that 3. Okay, because if I was going to go check it again, if I distribute it, I should get 3x plus 12 is what I started with. Okay, number 2. Again, think about your coefficients. In this case, it's going to be 8 and 36. And I have, if you need to list them out, list them out. Eventually, you'll see what your greatest common factor is. What number is going to 8? That's 1, 2, 4, 8. What goes into 36? That's 1, 2, 4. 3 also goes into it. 3, 4, 6, 12, and 36. Okay, what's the greatest common factor? In this case, would be 4. Okay, so I can factor out or divide both of them by 4. So when I factor out a 4, I'm left with 8 divided by 4 is going to give me 2m. And then 36 divided by 4 is going to give me plus 9n. Okay, and again, if I distribute this in, I should get all of what I started with. Okay. Number 3, I have 6a squared plus 27. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my coefficients, and my coefficients are 6 and 27. I'm going to think about what numbers go into 6, what numbers go into 27. What numbers go into 6 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so those are all the possible numbers that go into 6. Now 27, I have 1, 3, 9, and 27. So my greatest common factor in this case would be 3. So I'm going to divide by 3 to both coefficients. Where I factored out the 3, I'm left with 6 divided by 3 is 2a squared. 27 divided by 3 is plus 9. Okay, again, if I distribute this in, I should get what I started with. Okay, so I know I'm saying I'm dividing by the greatest common factor, but really what you're doing is you're factoring out the greatest common factor. You're factoring out the greatest common factor. Okay, so if I start out with number 4, I'm going to go ahead and think about 21 and 3. What number is going to 21? That's 1 times 21, and then you got 3 times 7. Now when you think about 3, the only numbers that make up 3 is 1 and 3. So the greatest common factor would be 3. Okay, so I can factor out a 3. But now if you look here, I have C, D, and I have D. So what do they both have in common? D. So I can factor out 3D. 3D. When I factor out 3D, here I'm left with, okay, well, what's 21 divided by 3? That's going to leave me with 7C because the D's cancel out. Minus 3D divided by 3D just gives me 1. Okay, so again, if I go to distribute this, I should get it. So if you want to check your work, you could distribute it. I get 21CD minus 3D. Oh, look, that's exactly what I started with. That's if you want to check it. Okay, number 5. Again, I want to think about 15 and 30. Okay, what numbers go into 15? 1 times 15, 3 times 5, 15. What numbers go into 30? 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10. Okay, so what's my greatest common factor here? This would be 15. So I can factor out a 15 here and a 15 here. But if you look, I also have a squared, a, and b. I could factor out an a, I could factor an a, and a b. Okay, so I'm factoring out 15ab because they both have at least one a and they both have at least one b. So I'm factoring out 15ab. My first term, I'm 15 divided by 15 cancels out. A squared divided by a to the power of 1 leaves me to the power with a to the power of 1. B divided by b cancels out. Left with 30 divided by 15 gives me 2. A cancels out, b cancels out. So this is what I'm left with. Again, you can distribute this and check your work to see if it is correct. Number 6. Okay, I have AB minus A. I want to think about what do they have in common. They both have an A, so I can factor out an A. So A, when I factor out, I'm left with B minus what's A divided by A? 1. Okay, and again, you can check your work by distributing. What's A times B? AB. What's A times negative 1? Negative 1. Or, well, negative A. Because A times negative 1 is negative AB. That's exactly what I started with. Okay, if I wanted to check. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is you want to look at 18 and negative 48. You want to look at your numbers, your coefficients. You have, what is this? You have 18. The numbers that make up 18 is going to be 1 and 18. 2 times 9 is 18. And then 3 times 6 is 18. Now I have 48. I know 1 and 48 make 48. 2 and 24. 3 and 16 make 48. 4 and 12 make 48. I also have 6 and 8 make 28. Or 48. Now my greatest common factor is going to be, what is it? Looks like it's going to be 6. Yeah, it's the greatest common factor. So I can factor out a 6 for sure. Now I want to look at my variables. I have an A here and I have an A here. So I can for sure factor out an A. I have a B. I have a single B here. I can factor out a B. Now when I look at my C's, I have 2 C's here and 3 C's. I can at least go with C squared, take those away from both sides, or factor out. Okay, so I'm factoring out C, or 6AB squared. Okay, I'm factoring out, so this right here, now I have 18 divided by 6. That cancels out to leave me with 3, because 18 divided by 6 is 3. A squared divided by A, I'm left with 1A. B divided by B cancels out. C squared divided by C squared cancels out. Minus, what is 48 divided by 6? 48 divided by 6 is going to go ahead and give me 8. Oh, I didn't realize that I did factor out an A. I plan to factor out an A, so remember I factored out an A here, so I just had to put it there. Now I have A divided by A cancels out. B divided by B cancels out. C to the third power divided by C squared leaves me with just a single C. And this is what I'm left with. And again, I could check this. I could check it by distributing. And I should get back to my original problem right here. Okay. Number 8. Alright. This is where I think about, okay, what numbers... Okay, if I'm looking at this, I want to know my greatest common factor. Okay, if I look at this, I have 6. What numbers go into 6? 1, 2, 3, and 6. I have 14. What numbers go into 14? That's 1, 2, 7, and 14. And then 10. What numbers go into 10? That's 1, 10, 2, 5. And if I look at this, my greatest common factor is 2. So I can for sure factor out a 2 out of all of these. Okay. When I factor out a 2, but it looks like I can also, when I look at my variables, they all have y. So I can for sure factor out a y, but you want to look at which one is your smallest exponent. Smallest exponent looks to be y squared, so I'm going to go ahead and factor out a y squared from all of them, because you can at least take 2 y's away from all of them. When I do that, 6 divided by 2 leaves me with 3. 4 divided by 2, or y to the 4th power divided by y squared, leaves me with y to the 2nd power. And then 14 divided by 2 cancels out to give me 7. Y to the 3rd power divided by y squared gives me y. And then minus 5, and then y squared cancels out. This is my answer. And again, I could distribute and check my answers. Number 9. Okay, again, I want to know, okay, here's my numbers, 14 and 28. What numbers go into 14? 1, 2, 7, 14. What numbers go into 28? Looks like it's 1, 28, 2, 14. That looks like it. That's it. Oh, well, 4 and 7. Yeah. And then, what's my greatest common factor? Looks like it's 14. So I can factor out a 14. So 14 could be divided here, 14 could be divided here, and 14 could be factored out here. Okay, now I want to look at my variables. Okay, so this has a g, and this one doesn't have a g, so I can't factor out a g because only these terms had a g. I have h, and h. Now, again, look at the least. What's the least number? It's 1 and 1, so I can at least factor out at least one h out. Okay, so I'm going to factor out 14h from all these terms. Now, 14 divided by 14 leaves me nothing. I'm left with g because I couldn't factor out a g. And then h squared divided by h, power 1, is just leaving me with h plus 2g. Because h divided by h cancels out. 28 divided by 14 is 2. And then 14h divided by 14h is left with just 1. Okay. And again, I could check this by distributing, where when I distribute, I should get back to the original equation. Okay. All right. Number 10. I'm going to look at all the numbers, and I'm going to think about what is my greatest common factor. I have 3, 9, and 15. What numbers go into 3? It's 1 and 3. What numbers go into 9? That's 1, 3, and 9. 15 is 1, 3, 5, and 15. Okay. Now, what is my greatest common factor? It looks like it's just 3. So I know for sure I'm factoring out a 3 from all of these terms. So for sure factoring out a 3. Now let's go variable by variable. What's the least exponent, or the smallest exponent? A to the power of 1, so I can for sure factor out at least one of these a's. Now I have b. This has b squared, b to the 3rd, b to the 4th. So my smallest exponent is b squared, so I can for sure factor out a b squared from all of these. And then it looks like we have c to the power of 1, c to the power of 2, and c to the power of 3. So my least, or my smallest exponent is c to the power of 1. So I can at least factor out 1. So ab squared, and then c. Okay, so I'm factoring out 3ab squared, c. When I factor out, 3 divided by 3 cancels out. A to the 3rd power divided by a is just a squared. B squared divided by b squared cancels out. C divided by c cancels out. Now, 9 divided by 3 is going to give me 3. A squared divided by a is going to leave me with 1a. B to the 3rd power divided by b squared leaves me with b. C squared divided by c leaves me with 1c. Plus 15 divided by 3 cancels out to give me 5. And then a divided by a cancels out. B to the 4th power divided by b squared gives me b squared. C to the 3rd power divided by c to the power of 1 gives me c squared. And that is what I get for the last one. Now, if you're getting stuck and you're like, how am I getting c to the power of 3 divided by c to the power of 1? Remember, we learned that our quotient rule tells us to subtract our exponents. So that is how I got c squared. Okay, so c squared minus 1, this right here, gives me that c. Okay, if that helps. Okay, and then these ones are you're going to try on your own, and then go ahead and type in your answer to your Edpuzzle.